Final four soup.
What's the final for a soup? French
Chowder.
onion soup
Yeah, French onion soup.
versus chowder. We can go to the final
Shrimp,
two.
shrimp
Yeah.
corn chowder.
There's so many soup. Borscht. You can have that's more of a stew, I guess, but I think it's kind of in soup.
Goulash.
Oh yeah, goulash. I got paid in goulash once. Yeah,
I had
goulash and
gou-
borscht are different. Yeah, they never
they
quite
are
processed
different.
that.
Borscht is like beets. The
Right.
goulash is like a beef stew that's basically it's just a beef stew. Anyway, very
Um,
good.
so anyway, I was saying what I'll do is for the first round, I'll just read the one or two sentence description for each episode, but then I won't do that again, right? Because if people are listening, then maybe it's good just to get a quick, summary of the episode in case you don't remember what the fuck happened in the Rolls of Luton.
Yeah, because all the titles are wrong.
And all the titles are wrong. That's good, another good. So I got the DVD set with the bizarre short descriptions that I'll read.
Can you hear the children laughing outside my window?
No.
No, the Zoom always filters that shit out. I never hear anything.
Yeah, like I got my fan on because I'm not worrying about
I
too
hear
much.
it, but I got a live straight connection through the microphone.
Right, that's
So
what I
I'm
do. If you connect through, well, if you connect to your computer, you actually won't hear yourself anymore. So I think it's better just to get all the noise. But yeah, I'm trying to go with windows open today because it's
I can
not
close the windows. It's only like 70
lazy.
degrees today. It's gotten very overcast and cool in the Bay Area. So let me see. Also, there's a cat over here in
Oh,
the
there's a
corner. I don't know
cat.
if you can see
Okay.
him.
Hello.
No, I can see the cat.
Hello.
Yeah, everything behind is in
Sitting
perfect
on the chair.
something.
I was trying to get a soundboard together, but I just couldn't get anything to work.
Well, I mean, I'll just give me the shorter version of the thing and I'll use the
Let's
long
see
one
if
the
that
first
makes a whit
time
of
and then
difference.
No, I'm talking about like having buttons to push that would go like "Dur."
Oh yeah, that could get it. Oh yeah, you
It
could
would
get
get annoying, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't overuse it. But it's just
you probably would
not in the
overuse it.
cards. Yeah, but I can't use it at all now, so it doesn't matter.
After the rounds, I might actually pause recording just to do a bit of recalculation each time. So,
Sure, or you can just edit it. You can cut
yeah, but
that
it's
out if you
easier if
want.
I hit pause.
Okay,
I
How
mean,
many
yeah,
times have
that's
we heard Mark say, Matt, you could edit it.
you could
hey,
edit it.
master filmmakers edit in camera. That's what I do.
Okay,
Hitchcock,
camera.
well, I don't know if Hitchcock
I
does
just think it's
it.
funny. He's like, there's this concept called editing. Maybe you've heard of it.
There's is it maybe it's John McTiernan who was very like edits a lot in camera, so it's like there's only one way to edit his movies in the end.
I mean, there's only one way to do the things that you insist on doing, right?
Yeah. Oh, real quick, you finished Crossroads yet? You don't
No,
have to. Okay.
I don't have to.
Um, what? Yeah, you have to. You have to finish
Yeah, I have
Crossroads.
to.
You
I
have
know I
What
have
year
to.
did
I
that
haven't.
film come out?
2002.
2002.
Oh,
I
really?
don't.
So it's like post Sex in the City, Kim Cattrall?
Yeah, or
Okay.
same
Post?
time-ish. I don't
I thought
remember
it was
exactly.
concurrent. Like, didn't Sex in the City like kind of run for a really
I'm
long
just
time?
assuming she was busy with Sex in the City, wouldn't be doing movies during that time, but she could have done some between seasons. I don't know.
Did you start Crossroads?
Yes, I
Okay.
got to the part where Anson Mount showed up.
Okay, so you have gotten like what the hell, and then in the final credit sequence, okay, maybe you can't just
Yeah,
post them
Sex
in.
and the City was running until 2004.
Okay, so she was doing, but she's only in this movie for like 30 seconds. So
Yeah, so she
Oh,
was
okay.
like,
and
I
I
she's
have to
didn't
get
really
well,
back
watch
to.
Sex in the City either.
talk
So
about a paycheck.
Let's hurry this up. I have to get back and
Yes,
be a
yes.
bitch to
Okay,
Sarah Jessica Parker.
okay. Go
That's what
ahead.
she's doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You should start the podcast. Yes.
Okay, I'll start the podcast. Give me a second. Welcome to Podcast 1999, the podcast about Space 1999 from downtown. I am Mark.
From up in the mountains, it's bad.
That's not really the metaphor I was doing, but
Well,
yeah,
it's the one
okay.
I just did. You're the city mouse. I'm the country mouse.
I'm Brian, and I don't know what's going
What
on.
kind of mouse are
3 Point
you?
Brian.
Maya
He's
mouse.
on fire. Pew, 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 pew.
Yes, it's our final four for all
Nothing
of
but net.
the
I'm just saying the
space.
things I would if the soundboard worked, then I would be doing
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay. The whole time, right?
Do, do,
So it's probably see,
do.
he's just gonna do that the whole time, isn't he?
No,
I don't know if
not.
the soundboard would be better or
We
worse.
just got to live with it, I suppose.
Okay, we are going to pit all the episodes of Space 1999 up against each other. I've made some brackets going. I did some light research because I'm not a sports guy. I don't know about the sports ball, but it seems that if you take the top rated episode and the bottom rated episode and pit them against each other until you get the middle ones, and eventually, so the first round should go quickly. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out.
You didn't like do a random pairing. You specifically went like top to bottom.
Yes, because it said that in college basketball you pit like the really good team against the really bad team, and so either you sink or swim early on, and then it's just like the better teams at the end.
Okay.
I guess that's to keep you from like having a whole handful of bad teams. You have to sit there and decide between which one's the worst.
Yeah.
And likewise, which ones are the best.
That might be the thing. So
Anyway,
anyway,
that makes sense, but okay.
Like I said, I did some research for like 10 minutes, and that's what I came up with. So
Okay. That's not any less research than I would have done.
right. Okay. So I guess let's get straight to it. It's round one. Okay, so our first pairing is going Dragon's Domain. I'll do a quick plot description for all of these based on the weird descriptions on the back of the A&E box. So, Dragon's Domain, Tony Cellini claims that monsters exist despite the other's skepticism. Is he mad, or are they in for an inevitable confrontation? An ill-fated mission leads Alpha to the truth. Versus The Full Circle. Koenig returns to a planet to retrieve missing crewmates, only to find a race of cave dwellers stuck in a prehistoric existence. The Alphans' attempt to understand them will test thousands of years of civilization. So, I guess I'll just start at the top of my screen. Brian, Dragon's Domain or The Full Circle?
Dragon's Domain.
Yeah, of course it's Dragon's Domain. I do think this Full Circle's underrated, but I mean, yeah. Right. Okay. So Dragon's Domain is in. I would have been surprising if it wasn't really. So,
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Next one, we got Earthbound versus the Rules of Luton. And by the way, this I don't I could yeah. Mark says don't even read the descriptions, but I will. Earthbound, Koenig grants humanoid aliens aid and rest after an emergency landing. In exchange, your leader offers to have one Alphan return with them to Earth. Who will main computer choose? Versus the Rules of Luton. After a member of planet Luton is killed, Maya and Koenig must now battle for their freedom against other aliens convicted of the same crime. Will the entire planet as the arena, will they come out alive? So I'm first. I want to get through round one quick, so I won't be cheeky. It's Earthbound, of course, for me.
We would have gone through it even faster if you hadn't said that, or if I hadn't said this. Yes, Earthbound.
Brian, you want Descent just to be a bastard?
No, I was just wondering what it would have been like if Andor had been on Luton and he had to fight him instead of Alien Strong, who they sent back to Earth.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm just going to cross these episodes up now and just see what happens.
I wish we could do that.
But if you're choosing one episode, it is
Earthbound.
That's right. Next one.
That is the right answer.
That's the right answer.
Another time, another place. After a spectacular cosmic shower of color and light, only Regina Kesslin knows the commander and Carter are dead. The cosmic disturbance had torn the fabric of time, leaving the Alphans no place to die. That is versus Catacombs of the Moon. Oh, I thought I could do this fast. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. There's
Again.
There we go. Patrick Osgood is besieged by haunting visions of Moonbase Alpha's destruction. As a result, he kidnaps his wife to seek safety in the lunar mines. But will his love for her be enough to save them both? Mark?
Nope.
No.
The only thing that can save them both is Another Time, Another Place.
Okay, that's your choice, Brian.
Yeah, it's interesting that you paired the two kind of strange episodes together.
That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Which one's higher on the tripometer? All right, wrong podcast. Yeah, definitely Another Time, Another Place over the Catacombs.
Yeah, this you know what? I like Catacombs. If I'm just gonna give a sympathy vote since it's not winning already, and I'm number 3 doing
well, in that case, I'm gonna change my vote.
Oh,
Just
no, you
to-
can. You already
No.
made your vote.
Okay, fine.
We're gonna be here all day.
I just want to throw
No,
a
I'm
bone
gonna
to
change
that
my
one.
vote.
That's
I'm
all I'm
gonna
saying.
change my vote back.
Chaos.
Breakaway. The mysterious deaths of astronauts sends Commander Koenig, Dr. Russell, and Professor Bergman to the dark side of the moon for answers where they discover a terrifying magnetic radiation threat. This is versus the Tabor. Yay. That is
Tell us about the
Tabor's
Tabor.
Tabor is a trader with a ship that contains a jump drive that could aid the Alphans in getting home. But what will happen when Tabor wants Maya in exchange? Brian, you're first.
Breakaway.
Breakaway.
Just breakaway.
Okay, I was hoping I could like make you choose the Tabor, just be contrarian, but yeah, let's move on.
I mean, let's be realistic. Breakaway is it's gonna be hard to beat breakaway.
How about these two then? The Last Sunset.
Ooh.
Ooh. When the exiled moon enters the orbit of a new planet called Ariel, that which the Alphans have sought for so long is suddenly available. The moon has a breathable atmosphere. Versus All That Glisters. An away team lands to harvest elements as precious as diamonds, but instead encounters a life form completely different from the Alphans, save one exception, the need for water. Easily a Last Sunset. Space shrooms versus something that
Space
Landau
rock.
wrote snarky notes in.
Yeah,
Maybe
unfortunately,
they
you
should have
have
had
to-
some space shrooms on the Glisters planet when it made it more interesting.
Yeah, what's the name? Cowboy Irishman. Yeah, no, gotta give it to the Last Sunset on this one.
Yeah.
Yep,
Again,
Last
round
Sunset.
one's probably going to go reasonably fast. We'll discuss more later. Moving along, Testament of Arcadia. As Earth's wandering moon comes into orbit around the planet Arcadia, the Alphans learn there is an order in the chaos of events far beyond man's vision, set within the majesty of the universe. That is versus here, Mark. This one's going to break your brain a little bit. We needed an extra episode because I'm doing the Bringers of Wonder as one episode. It's versus
Okay.
The Day After Tomorrow, which I do not have a plot description for, but as the pilot for Into Infinity with Brian Blessed and Nick Tate. And Mark, you are first.
I'm gonna have to go with wait, I said the wrong thing. Day After Tomorrow for me, personally.
Okay. Brian, which one do you want to go with?
Day After Tomorrow versus what again?
Testament of Arcadia.
Testament of
This is a real
Arcadia.
matchup.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna have to go for Testament, I think. It's just such a classic episode.
That puts me on the
What
spot.
do you think, Matt?
Damn. At the end of the day, The Day After Tomorrow is a little bit more memorable because of all that production stuff. And like I said in the podcast episode, I think Battlestar did it a little better with the Arcadia thing. So I'm gonna choose The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh,
I mean, Brian
dang.
Blessed
I was
is in
thinking
it.
that episode would last toward the final round. You know,
that's
one
that's why the brackets are interesting this way.
For the
Dang.
record, I didn't feel incredibly strongly about my choice, but it was an obvious choice to me personally. So
I thought you would choose that one. I didn't know what
Yeah.
I was going to choose till I said it, but in the end, I'm like, I think I gotta go with The
somewhere
Day
there's a
After
single
Tomorrow.
tear running down John Champion's face.
That's right.
Hmm.
Next two, we got Death's Other Dominion. From a planet encased in ice, Alphans receive a transmission from two voices, one promising long life and one warning to stay away. Soon the Alphans discover that the humans that settled on Udumathul have found ways to cheat death. That is versus the Seance Spectre. Okay, there's Mark's vote.
What's that about, Matt?
As a result of living in the desolation of space, a psychological backlash called the Green Sickness comes to Alpha, showing them visions of a non-existent planet.
That makes it sound far more interesting than it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Uh,
describes almost like what happens in the opening credits.
yeah.
Anyway, Death's Other Dominion. Oh wait, sorry, did I jump the queue or
You
whatever?
jumped the queue already, but Brian,
Sorry.
you're technically first. But is anyone death? I'll go second because we're going backwards now. It's Death's Other Dominion, right?
Is anyone
You
no,
want to choose Seance Spectre? You want to choose Seance Spectre?
No, I do not want to choose Seance Spectre.
Then you
for
won't.
season 2? It's just gonna get trampled.
There's a
All
few.
Dine on wormwood and gall, or whatever it was.
End
Captain
of eternity. Soon the lost men and women from planet Earth will know that evil lives among the stars. His name is Baylor, and he will soon set foot upon Moonbase Alpha. That is versus Space Warp. Dun, 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 the Space Warp. Flip my things. Okay, a space warp leaves Koenig and Tony behind as the Earth's moon travels 5 light years deeper into the unknown. Meanwhile, Maya's fever causes her to transform. End of Eternity versus Space Warp. I'm gonna throw this one out in the weirdness, and Space Warp has my favorite insane visuals. I'm gonna choose Space Warp. I think I might be the only one, but hey, maybe I'm not. Mark?
End of Eternity.
Yeah. Okay. Brian?
This one is really the quintessence of existential dread versus sci-fi.
I chose the fun.
Yeah, you chose the fun. I'm going to go with the dread because Baylor is like one of the few really scary, psychotic aliens we see in this show.
Yeah,
So
like I mean, I do want to throw Baylor under the bus, but that's a testament to his character, right? So,
yeah.
so it works out okay. Here we go. We've got Mission of the Darians. After responding to a plea for aid, Koenig enters a massive spacecraft to find an alien world's last hope turned into a nightmare, a civilization split in two, with one faction hiding a terrible secret. Versus Brian the Brain. A new member named Brian aids members of an Alpha to a planet on which all his previous crew members were killed. As it turns out, Brian has other darker motives than simply helping the Alphans. A new member named Brian? What? Okay, anyway. Aids members of Alpha. Okay, that's yeah, some of these are bizarre, and I just had to parse that out. Mark, that's Voyager, excuse me, Mission of the Darians versus Brian the Brain.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be Mission of the Darians, even though I do want to. This is one of the times I almost want to throw the other one a bone, but no, I can't.
Brian, you want to throw Brian a bone?
It's my namesake episode. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Again, it's got
The new member
existential
named
dread
Brian,
versus
that's
sci-fi
you.
fun.
Vote for it and see what I do.
God, do I really want to leave it up to Matt?
Boy.
No, I'm just gonna call Mission of the Darians now.
Of course, it's Mission of the Darians. I hate Brian the Brain. That was my Mark had the Tabor hate. I had the
It
Brian
was
the
Matt's
Brain hate.
Tabor.
Yes,
Brian
it
was
was
Matt's
mine.
Tabor.
That's
not
right.
confusing at all.
Right. That makes sense in perfectly normal conversation at a party or something.
Yeah. I've had that conversation at a party at least 3 or 4 times.
That's right. Voyager's Return. Stretching out my voice because I'm still flipping through the discs. A probe en route back to Earth uncovers an invaluable source of knowledge to Moonbase Alpha. But the probe inadvertently destroys the civilization, and a fleet of its alien ships pursues Alpha to condemn humanity for its actions. Versus the Mark of Arcanon. Alan Carter will unlock proof of a newly unearthed legend of peace and goodwill that was once spread universally. However, the discovery turns out to be Pandora's box, and when opened, death is Alan's prize. He didn't die, did he?
No, he just gave a kid a ball.
Yeah, anyway, I'm first. I mean, that's Voyager's Return. I mean, the Mark of Arcanon has a lot of stuff I like, but yeah. Mark,
Was
Who's next?
Me?
it's your
Yeah,
name. This is your
I was-
namesake.
This is the first time we've even had almost the first time we had a season 1 episode that I even kind of wanted to throw under the bus, and I just can't. It's Voyager's Return.
Okay. Brian,
I'll concur with your assessments.
why don't I get a namesake episode? That's too bad. Mark got 2. Well, Mark got an episode and a character.
The
Okay.
Bat of Door.
Yes. Rolling up next is Black. This is going to be a weird pair up, by the way. We got Black Sun. The inescapable gravity field of a black sun draws the moon in and drains the power supply of Moonbase Alpha. Facing death, Commander Koenig launches a ship with a chosen few to flee the doomed base. That is versus Space Brain. Oh no. Earth's lost
Oh,
moon is on track to careen through an all-powerful entity at the very center of the universe. Will the organism obliterate the moon and the Alphans in order to save itself? I think this is an even stronger sci-fi fun versus existential dread pair up.
Hmm.
who's first?
Let's see. You are Mark, I believe. So it's Foam Party or Black Suns.
That's a really tough one
I know.
because I did have slight nitpicks with Black Sun, but Space Brain, for all of its cool foam party, is dumber in like every possible way, really. Oh, that does have that thing where the eagle gets all crushed into a ball. Um, and I have to shoot from the hip and just say Black Sun.
Okay, Brian.
I was thinking we were actually pitting season ones versus season twos there until now.
No,
Then
We
no,
trying
this
to-
already
is fine.
had
This is
one.
everything.
Yeah, I
This is
guess.
final
Yeah.
We had
four.
a full circle versus
Well, that's
what was
true.
full circle
Full
versus
Circle is
something.
first seasoners. Oh, you mean first seasoners? Yeah.
Yeah, we've already had a pair up of yeah.
I got slightly confused for a minute. That's not hard. No, Black Sun for me. It's definitely more existential dready.
Yeah, I chose fun that last time, but this time I have to choose Black Sun because that's the best dread this series did, and I do feel bad
Yeah.
about Space Brain disappearing this soon because it is. That's the
It's
thing
good.
when you do this, it's good. I mean, it's near my favorites, but in the end, I guess it might as well get knocked out here because it's probably not going to make it all the way to number one. I think.
No.
Moving
But
on,
it
we have
would beat
got
most of season 2 at least.
yeah. It's up there, but it's not going to make the final cut as it has not now. So. Mm.
Are you sure? Maybe it could still make it.
Coming up next, the Bringers of Wonder, a ship from Earth carrying friends and family of Alpha and personnel lands, giving new hope that they can return to Earth. However, Koenig reacts violently, claiming they aren't human. Versus Ring Around the Moon. After being abducted, Dr. Russell begins transmitting vital data about Alpha to the aliens. Koenig and Carter's attempt to thwart the aliens' plan ignites the probe and Dr. Russell, destroying her. What? That's not what happened. Okay, anyway.
That's right. She's
Brian...
dead. We never saw her again.
uh,
That was the season one finale. She never came
What
back.
is going on at the DVD factory?
That's why I'm reading
I
them.
don't know. That's a very
That's why I'm
strange.
reading them. They're so fun. Brian, Bringers of Wonder, Ring Around the Moon.
I believe we're going to have to call that one for Bringers of Wonder.
I like Ring Around the Moon more than most people, but I will have to choose Bringers of Wonder in the end. The spaghetti monsters, right?
Yeah, that's an easy one for me. Bringers of Wonder.
Yeah. Okay, moving on then. We have got The Last Enemy, which is Alpha finds itself stuck between two warring worlds when a colossal spacecraft approaches and begins firing on a planet that the team had hoped to call home. That's going to be versus New Adam, New Eve. This is the best one. I read it on air for that episode, by the way, or the one after. I've read it on air before. The heralded he has chosen John, Maya, Helena, and Tony to be transported to paradise. How are these four going to fight God, who exalts for you? This is the first day of creation. That's fantastic.
That was such a weird description. Okay.
Brian, you're up.
I just blotted out the other episode.
The
What's
last,
first one?
sorry, I should say it. The last enemy. Yeah, that description will do it, won't it? The last enemy versus New Adam, New Eve.
Last Enemy is definitely one of the fun ones and a lot more fun than Magus. I'm sorry.
That description almost pushed me over to that side, but in the end, yeah, of course, it's got to be the last enemy. That's just there's more meat to that bone, you know.
Well, I was gonna vote New Adam, New Eve, and I still am. But
Okay, good.
it lost.
I think some deserve a dissenting vote, you know, because that's how this works. There are things with good episodes that just can't pit against another one. That's half the fun here. Okay, moving along is Force of Life. Oh no, I've lost my flow of flipping around these things. Where's my Force of Life, folks?
They'll never let you in the NBA.
An orb of blue light infuses itself into Anton Zoref, urging him to lay claim to the moon base. As victims begin to fall, Koenig orders that Anton be killed. That is versus Missing Link. Oh, there it is. It's on the same disc. Koenig awakens in a medical center on life support after a crash. In this city, walking around humanoid creatures, Koenig will find love. To his host, Ron, he is the missing link for the planet Zenho on which to experiment. Um, I don't love Force of Life, but it's better than Missing Link. Missing Link, I felt, was a little draggy, and Peter Cushing's just there. You know, he's not really knocking it out of the park. So for me, it's got to be Force of Life, Mark.
Force of Life.
That's got our McShane too, right? So
Yeah.
like owning it, right? As opposed to Cushing
It's
not owning it.
a personal favorite. One of my
Ryan?
personal favorites.
Yeah, I'll say Force of Life. I like Lovejoy or the Deadwood guy, whatever he called him.
McShane.
McShane.
Okay, moving along. We have got Guardian Apiri. The Guardian sends a siren to Alpha with promises of eternal bliss and happiness. With each Alphan ready to join, only Koenig questions the authenticity of this deliverance. Versus A Matter of Balance, which I actually did start to grab the first season disc, which is not the correct episode.
Yeah, but it took me a second. I was like,
So that's why I'm reading the descriptions, even though it might seem a little like a
oh.
slog. I don't know. Matter of Balance. Vindris of Sunim lures a girl across the line by enabling an alien race to live again, with Moonbase Alpha as the weighing coin. That sounds like a sex offender crime when they in this description.
It kind of was.
Yeah, okay. Well, one more
It
time.
was a little
Guardian of
creepy.
Piri versus A Matter of Balance. Mark.
Guardian Apiri.
Brian.
Yeah, both weird seduction episodes with girls on either side of the equation.
Are you
You
thinking
sure you didn't
about
pick
it?
these
Are you
though?
thinking
Do
about
this?
it? No, no. This is...
No, I'm gonna have to give it to Guardian of Puri.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course
that
it's
was
Piri. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
First time Catherine Shells have to go up against herself.
This is true. This is
We got the Metamorph. In an attempt to save the pilots destined for a volcanic death, Koenig becomes the tempest between an alien father and daughter and a biological computer whose power is fueled by the human soul. That doesn't even sound accurate, but whatever. That's going to be versus the Beta Cloud. Members of Moonbase Alpha must fight in a battle against inhuman creatures determined to take their main life support, a difficult feat when most of Alpha is incapacitated by a gaseous space phenomenon. Is that the
David Prowse one.
open, close episode, right?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
David
Open,
Prowse
open close.
goes crazy on people.
Right. Brian, you're first.
Oh God.
Metamorph versus the Beta Cloud.
It's funny because they probably have more transformations between those two episodes than any other ones. 'Cause we have to do it a lot in the pilot with her, and then we have to do it again. Oh, Metamorph is more interesting. I was kind of interesting you used the word tempest. I didn't really.
They
Did we
used the
stop
word
to
tempest.
realize that was kind of an analogy to Shakespeare's The Tempest?
Oh,
With
somebody thought they were
Prospero
being...
and yeah.
Maybe in your longer description on your box, it makes more sense. That's Metamorph vote, then I'm assuming.
Metamorph.
Yes. I mean, Brian Blessed, come on, Metamorph.
I love playing Tempest. Metamorph.
Okay. Metamorph it is. Piri. Metamorph. Got to make sure I'm writing these down. I guess I can remember what we chose, but it's better
No,
this
you
way.
can't.
I can't remember anything.
Write them down.
I admit it. I can't
Write
remember
them down.
anything. War Games. After an attack, Moonbase Alpha lies in rubble as Koenig and Dr. Russell take flight in an alien world, only to find that their fears hold the secret to their doom. Can the base possibly be saved? Versus One Moment of Humanity. The cruel Zamara denies power to sustain Alpha and decides to take Helena and Tony to her home Zega. Tony and Helena's principles will be tested as Zamara probes for the knowledge she wants. Now, soundtrack, One Moment of Humanity gets the vote easily, but War Games, of course, is the actual
Milli
winner
Vanilli.
for me. Mark,
War Games.
yeah, I
War Games.
already started typing war games. You'd have to be insane. Here's one where, oh, let's read it. Okay. The AB Chrysalis, the moon is attacked by powerful shockwaves. It is up to Carter, Maya, and Koenig to find out what causes them before the moon is obliterated. And that's going to be versus Matter of Life and Death. Dr. Russell's husband, thought to have died on a mission, is found on a planet by a reconnaissance ship. Wavering between life and death, he bears a warning: avoid the planet or face obliteration. Mark, that's AB Chrysalis versus Matter of Life and Death.
Well, this is my favorite season 2 episode versus a season 1 episode that is probably towards the middle. So I'm going to give it to AB Chrysalis.
Brian.
I mean, it had that ball that was like and nudes. It had nudes.
Yeah,
Green,
and
naked green women and man.
Had a
stash.
kind of interesting first contact. At least they tried to make it interesting. I don't know if it was
chlorine
that
eating monster.
Here, draw some geometric figures on the board, and we'll suddenly speak English.
Yep.
Oh God, I'll be contrary on this one and vote for the other one just for fun.
Okay, I need the softcore nudity, so it's AB Chrysalis, Chrysalis. I don't even
It's
know.
Chrysalis. It's how you
Chrysalis.
pronounce it.
Okay, I like the way I pronounce
Chrysalis.
it. The way I pronounce
I mean,
it's
I'm sure you
cooler.
do.
It's
I'm
cooler.
sure you do. I'm
That's
sure
what
it
saying.
is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Koenig, Helena, all those names.
That's right.
Baylor.
Eleanor, Meyer, Moonbase Alpha.
Meyer. Okay. I know in the next one what Mark is not voting for, because the first one is collision course. Unless the moon's course changes, a collision is inescapable between Alpha and a massive planet. When an improbable solution is presented, will the Alphans accept it? That is versus Devil's Planet. Koenig becomes a pawn to rule the masses under the rule of the beautiful but insane mistress of Entra. Her subjects are her prisoners, and her domain is a penal colony. For the same reason I just chose AB Chrysalis, I'm choosing Devil's Planet. I almost want to go with Collision Course because I like it better than Mark does. But well, how much did Mark like Devil's Planet? I guess it's a question.
That's a tough one, really. But I think I hate to do this. I think I'm just gonna go with Devil's Planet just to throw more season 2 in there, just to put a little.
I thought your
spice in
hate choice was actually going to be Collision Course. So
I don't, it's like, yes, I hate that episode, but I also kind of hate Devil's Planet. So I'm just gonna say Devil's Planet.
Oh, I definitely don't hate Devil's Planet, but I don't hate Collision Course either.
I don't hate it. Whatever. Hate is a strong word. I did not enjoy it very much.
Brian, choose with your heart, even though the outcome is all predetermined.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'll just have to run with Devil's Planet because of, Mrs. Brosnan cameo as guard number one.
Yeah, way better acting in that episode. And I mean, poor Ara.
And wasn't Mrs. Blessed too or something? Is it Elysia?
She was like, yes, she was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great cast in that.
Next up, the Infernal Machine, an invincible machine, is destroying everything in its path with Alpha in its sights. The machine speaks to replace its lone companion, its only link to living entities. Who will be chosen? Versus the Lambda Factor. A distortion in space makes mere thoughts powerful enough to kill. With the mind as the battleground, one walks with murderous hatred, and another is being tested and readied for battle. Mark, you're first.
Companion.
That sounds like the Infernal Machine, if I'm reading you correctly.
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, I think I'm more Team Gwent than Team Caroline in this one. So yeah.
I'm not going to dissent. It's Infernal Machine for me, no problem. Okay. Next up, we have Dorzak. Upon landing on the moon base, a lovely woman releases a plague called Dorzak, but it's not a sickness. It's a person, a psychon who opens a new chapter in Maya's life. Versus the Exiles. Missiles are pulled into the Earth's moon's gravitational field with the power to destroy the moon. But are these objects missiles or something else? The clock is ticking and Koenig must decide. Ryan, that is Dorzak versus the Exiles.
Oh, wow.
Here we are.
Oh, this is getting weird.
You want the middle-aged vampire guy, or do you want those young
Dorzak, the Night
hipsters?
Stalker, yes.
Well, you know that the guy in the Exiles became older than middle aged at the end.
That is
Yeah,
true.
You're getting
300 years
older.
old.
You're getting
Give my
older.
voiceover off camera. I'm gonna go with Dorzak because it's just more fun watching people get, mesmerized by him and his space vampire ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dorzak. The
Yeah,
Exile, those people are annoying.
if there's anybody I'd rather see than the Devil's Planet ladies, it's the Crotons. Yes, Dorzak for 100%.
Next up, Journey to Where. New technology has allowed the Alphans to return home. However, a seismic disturbance causes a shift in the transport, with Koenig, Helena, and Carter lost in space and time. Versus Alpha Child. Looking for Alpha Child. There he is. The celebration of the first childbirth in outer space quickly turns to fear. An alien vessel arrives above the moon base, ready to conquer, with the newborn ready to lead the way. Now, let's see. I like Jarek. That's Jarek and Alpha Child, right?
Yep.
This is our Jarek episode.
Uh-huh.
Journey to Where is more fun, though, isn't it? I'm gonna give Journey to Where. Mark,
Go
how's
to
your
hell.
Jarek
It's
feelings?
Alpha Child.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you made that vote, which puts it on Brian's plate.
Yeah.
Oh, I like them both. But going back to teenage me who watched this episode, I think I like Journey to Where more than Alpha Child.
Okay.
Damn. Oh my God.
Oh my. So
Boom
Jarek did not
shakalaka.
make it. That's right.
Sorry, the memory of Jarek. Who's that
A
guy?
new demand is crossed with you.
He's
He's
I'm
But you
blanking
get
on the name of
annoying
the
kid for
actor.
the first 20 minutes, don't you? That kind of takes away from him a bit.
I mean, annoying kid or terrifying kid, evil kid, like
a little of both.
almost like the Omen, almost like they were plagiarizing the movie that was happening.
Put a
at
pin in
same
the
time.
Omen, man. Okay.
There's a pin in it.
Here we go. Seed of Destruction. Koenig is changed after landing on a mysterious asteroid. It's up to Maya, Tony, and Helena to prevent the awakening of a sleeping giant within the asteroid's crystals. Versus the Troubled Spirit. This is just you're all looking to suspense with this. Dan Mateo is protected by an experimental supernatural presence that stalks the base, set to kill. Who on Alpha will be its next victim? Mark, who's going to be the next victim?
Seed of no wait no.
Seed is
Troubled
fake
Spirit
Koenig.
is going to be the victim because Seed of Destruction is my vote.
Okay,
On this. I'm sorry,
Brian.
Yeah, well,
Seed of
these two are
Destruction
not
versus the
great.
Troubled Spirit.
Nope, they're not. But I've made my choice. Is evil like Martin Landau with his eyes darting around is my choice. What left
Okay,
profile?
I'm going to vote for Troubled Spirit just to throw it back to Matt and make him
Ooh,
decide.
Yeah,
take that.
we have the electric sitar music, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
know.
It doesn't match to a screaming Martin Landau for half the episode. So I actually am going to go with
Ooh.
Seed of Destruction.
Nice.
I
All
respect
right.
that choice.
If they had put
just wanted
sitar
to-
music into Sea of Destruction, there would have been no debate in my mind. Okay.
Yeah.
The last couple, weirdly, this is another one where it just came out bizarre. It's the last two episodes of the series that we are comparing now. It is the Dorkons, when the Alphans encounter the most powerful race in the known universe, the Dorkons. Unfortunately, this feared race has a demand: turn over Maya or be destroyed. Versus the Immunity Syndrome. What seems like a chance to settle on a habitable planet turns terribly dangerous. Only the recording of a dead man's voice seems to spare the Alphans from a poisonous syndrome.
You had the chance to do a really good joke and put the synopsis of the Star Trek episode in there, and you didn't do it.
Well, I don't need to add time to this. It's going to take a while.
Everybody would be like, "What?"
So, who is Brian's first this time? The Dorcons versus the Immunity Syndrome.
Yeah, and that's a kind of a sci-fi fun versus existential dread
They both have like a
pairing.
little, nice season 2 uptick right at the end where it's
Yeah,
like, all
they
right.
have, they have also some, dread for Maya, of course, existential dread on her part. But as the other one was like the destruction of everybody and everybody's gonna die, and it was kind of like what was it, Matter of Life and Death, where everything blows up and then but then Lee Russell made it all okay. I'm gonna lean towards Dorcons. It's got Patrick Troughton in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the suspense and say Dorcons, Mark.
Yeah, Dorcon's easy for me.
Okay,
I
Dorcons
did
are cool.
not
We like
did
the
not care
Dorcons.
for the Space 1999 episode, The Immunity Syndrome, all that much.
All right. Well,
Star Trek
that
one's different.
that
But
is our picks for round 1. So let's take it to round 2.
ding ding.
Okay, we are
And
now
that's
at
how they do it on Broadway. Okay.
12
Dun, dun,
matchups, of
dun,
course.
dun.
12 and 6, and the last one's 3. Is it the final 3? Maybe it's the final 3. We'll find out. We might have to pit 3 at the end. I didn't do the math before we started. I'm not a statistics guy, math guy, whatever. Okay, here's our first pair up for round 2. Dragon's Domain versus the Dorcons. I'm first on that. Yeah, it's like I almost want to push for the Dorcons, but well, here's the thing: Dragon's Domain is like the 5 best minutes of the show, and then a pretty boring episode. Is that enough to really sustain? The Dorcons had 7 or 8 boring minutes of Koenig running around in hallways. Okay, but that crazy monster and the screaming, it's Dragon's Domain. Mark,
Dorcons for me.
okay, Brian.
Oh, well, it's the episode that launched a million lunch boxes. I'm gonna say Dragon's Domain.
Yeah, the
Yeah, no,
lunchbox has spoken.
I literally carried that lunchbox around when I was a kid, so I couldn't vote against it.
yeah, no, a million Dorcons couldn't stand up against the childhood trauma of everyone who watched that episode as a kid.
Uh, Earthbound versus Seed of Destruction. That is 2 stellar guest stars versus our lead going nuts for half the episode. Mark,
Wait, what was the first one again?
Earthbound versus Seed of Destruction.
Yeah, man, Earthbound is super good. I have to go Earthbound.
Brian,
Sorry,
Earthbound.
yeah, it's Earthbound. This
immediately.
might be where the season 2 episodes start to eat it a little more. You know, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. That's part of the fun here. If it ends up being all season 1 in the end, that's how it works out. But
I
yeah.
mean, really, do you think that it's not going to be all season one at the end?
Oh,
I mean, is that even possible? Sorry, go ahead. Just
we're
go
gonna
ahead.
find out, aren't we?
Okay,
Um,
yes.
Brian, you are first for this one. It's Another Time, Another Place versus Journey to Where.
Hmm.
You can have
Another Time, Another Place is trippy, but I still like the sci-fi fun of Journey to Where. Sorry, Regina or Regina, whatever your name is.
No, I
Nagina.
like. She has what, 2 brains? Um,
Two brains, two tiny
yeah.
brains.
Oh, I was gonna say Journey to Where anyway, but now that I've remembered that, it's 100% Journey to Where. The 2 brain thing was stupid.
I'm
Of
voting
course.
for Another Time, Another Place, even if that stupid two brains thing was in there, because that was a good episode. Damn it! All right,
Okay.
I've said my piece.
Right, right. No, I'm this is when like
No,
we're all
it was kind
happy
of a
when there's
hard
a
one.
dissenting opinion. So this one might be easier. Breakaway
I
versus
was
Dorzak. That's me. Breakaway. Mark.
Breakaway.
Brian.
Breakaway.
Space vampirism does not make it in the end.
Sorry, Dorzak.
Vampirism.
It's okay.
Here's a tricky one that Mark has to start with. The Last Sunset versus the Infernal Machine.
Ooh, that is tricky. Man, I do love me some Infernal Machine, but The Last Sunset was just top notch. Like
Okay.
I
So
have to
it's the
go with
Last
that.
Sunset for you, Brian.
Yeah.
No, it's getting tougher.
Space
I still have a
Shrooms
soft spot
versus
for I have a soft spot for Companion, so I'm gonna vote for Infernal Machine.
Okay, you will be the one that goes along with him in the end because I'm voting Last Sunset.
Well, you'll
You
be
will
very
go with
happy
Gwent.
together
You'll
until you die,
right.
I
and
will
then
be
it'll
the
be
new
sad.
companion.
Yes.
Day After Tomorrow versus Devil's Planet. This one starts with Brian.
Well, I didn't give it a vote last time, so I'll say Day After Tomorrow. I'll wave goodbye to the cat ladies of the moon.
Yeah, Blessed and Bling. I have to vote Day After Tomorrow. Mark.
Yeah, Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's your black cow to ride, right?
Well, do you remember when we did that episode and I was like, I feel like I wish we'd gotten this instead of season 2. I absolutely still feel like that. That is still I still like that better. That's gonna win against anything in season 2 for me if it goes up against it.
Speaking of going up against season 2, this starts with me. Yes, yeah, it starts with me. Death's Other Dominion versus the AB Chrysalis. Again, Blessed Factor, Smoldering Corpse. I'll go with Death's Other Dominion, which seems like Mark.
This is literally my favorite season 1 episode versus my favorite season 2 episode, and it's about to crush it. Death of the Dominion.
Okay, Brian.
It cannot be denied the blessed factor. I'm gonna say Death's Other Dominion.
Coming up next for Mark, End of Eternity versus War Games. You want like one guy smashing up Moonbase or a civilization smashing up Moonbase?
Well,
And then
longtime
we smash
listeners
the
to this
civilization.
podcast will probably be able to guess. I'm saying End of Eternity because it's a psycho killing people. It's not just things blowing up. I may be
Brian.
alone on this.
No, I'm gonna go with you on that. I think the one-on-one stuff is more interesting than the aliens in their glass phone booths or whatever they were, just sitting there
Yeah.
squatting.
I am too. I mean, Baylor cannot be denied, right?
Yeah. The aliens are like, do not land on this planet. We will show you
Oh
how
yeah, those
bad it would
aliens
be.
suck. Like War Games just has the cool battle and stuff. But then, like I said, the Dorcons also had a very cool battle. So
Oh,
that seems
War Games is up there, but I just don't. It's not that up there. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't put War Games over any of the last several. But anyway,
Mission of the
Yep.
Darians versus the Metamorph. This is Mark first. No, wait.
no,
Somebody first.
Brian first, right? Is that how it goes?
No, I think now my brain's just exploding.
Isn't it going as clockwise? I mean, on
Mark,
my screen
actually,
at
it
least.
is you first. Yeah, Mission of the Darians
Okay.
versus Metamorph.
Mission of Darians. I love that's one of my very favorites.
If you did 2 in a row first, I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Because maybe you did that. Okay.
Okay.
We'll go backwards. Let's throw it to the winds. I will also go with the Darians. Coolest sets. This is the one where the Blessed Factor, and it is my least favorite appearance of him. Right? I like the other 2 better. So,
Wait, what is he in that?
No, he's not in that episode.
Metamorph. He's in the
You're thinking of
Metamorph.
Joan? Oh, dear. Sorry.
But Joan
Are-
Collins is going to clock this
Oh.
Brian Blessed. It's
I'd
Darians for
forgotten the
me.
Metamorph was even in it because I was so focused on Mission of the Darians. I'd forgotten the entire episode was in the running.
Okay, Brian, you are
Well,
up.
yeah, this is like you said, I think Joan Collins beats Brian Blessed in this case, so I'll make it
Yeah.
unanimous, I guess. Blonde-haired Edith Keeler in a short skirt wins.
Now that I've completely bungled the order, I'll just put Brian first on this one, which is Voyager's Return versus Guardian of Piri.
Both episodes I specifically requested to be on last year.
Yes, you did. And make that choice.
Oh man. All right, I'm
Return.
gonna bid adieu to Catherine and go with the Werner von Braun and say Voyager's Return.
Okay. Weird planet sets push me over. It's Guardian of Piri. Mark.
Yeah, sorry, it's gonna be Guardian of Piri for me too.
All right.
Okay.
Piri it is. Hey, it's supposed to get more difficult as we go. Like
That's
this
what I
one.
think.
This one's really gonna show Mark stripes, which is Black Sun versus Force of Life. Pure trippy dread versus Psycho McShane. So I'm on the trippiness thing, as people that listen to my podcast know. I'm going to go with Black Sun there. Mark.
Yeah, as people know, I love a good murderer, so I'm gonna have to go with Force of Life on my end. So it's Brian's call here.
Murder or death staring you. Well, death stares you in the eye, and
Murder
either
or
murder or death.
the classic conundrum.
You want to
Well, there's
get
definitely a lot
murdered
more
or you wanna
happening
die?
in that episode rather than Black Sun, which is kind of we're all dreading what's about to happen.
Yeah, there was the factor of Black Sun pissing me off with the convenience of the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's one of the first sort of, mysterious unknown force guiding the Alphans
Right.
I mean,
subplot that never really developed anywhere.
As opposed to a
once.
mysterious unknown force killing the Alphans. So
yeah, so that wasn't as mysterious, was it? It was like, hey, I'm
they
murder.
didn't really work out what it was in the end, though, did they?
It was a guy.
Well, it was a
It
guy
was
in
a
the end.
blue ball of light
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
was
mean
just passing through.
That's
that guy.
mysterious. Okay.
Then it went
That
off
guy.
and impregnated Deanna Troy. No, wait, that's a different series.
Yep.
Brian, you're making stalling tactics. You got to make a choice.
Then it turned into a
All right,
Scottish
Black Sun. I'll
ghost.
say Black Sun.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Black Sun it is.
Last one for this round. It is the Bringers of Wonder versus the Last Enemy. Mark, you are first on this one.
Bringers of Wonder, baby.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, I'll go with Bringers of Wonder, I suppose.
It doesn't matter what I go with at this point, but I was pretty sure I was going to go with Bringers of Wonder at the end anyway. Let me get people caught up a little bit. Bringers of Wonder. That's me catching you up. So the episodes we are still working with are Dragon's Domain, Earthbound, Journey to Where, Breakaway, Last Sunset, Day After Tomorrow, Death's Other Dominion, End of Eternity, Mission of the Darians, Guardian of Piri, Black Sun, and Bringers of Wonder. That I was counting as we went. That is season 2 episodes remaining plus the Day After Tomorrow. So it's not all season 1 love. Season 2 is holding a little bit of ground. But yeah, let's get ready for round 3. Da ding ding.
He's on fire.
Pew pew pew.
Okay, here is our first matchup for round 3. It is Dragon's Domain versus Bringers of Wonder. Brian, you are first.
I guess I'm gonna hold with the old school Dragon's Domain, I guess, over Bringers of Wonder. I mean, there's more scary monsters individually in Bringers of Wonder as opposed to one.
They both have great monsters, but with Bringers of Wonder, we get 2 complete, at least pretty good, if not really good episodes. We'll see how it pits in the rest. Dragon's Domain just has those couple minutes of amazing, so I am going to go Bringers of Wonder. Mark?
Yeah, I have to go Bringers of Wonder also. Just as a whole, I enjoyed that a lot, even though some of the stuff I enjoyed in it was because it was kind of stupid, but I really did like it. So yes, Bringers of Wonder for me.
Hey, season 2 holding some in some rounds. That's good. Earthbound versus Black Sun. I'm Dreadman, so Black Sun is just it is tough. This is one where I'm really like, kind of flipping a coin the head at the end, but there's just more trippy effects in Black Sun, and I love those things. That's why I'm here. That's kind of why the podcast started. Mark?
Earthbound has like a man trapped in a case of death at the end who's screaming for his life. Definitely Earthbound for me.
Okay, Brian?
Oh man.
Black
I'm gonna
Sun
go with
has,
I think
Koenig
I'm gonna
and Victor having a scotch before the
That's
end of the
true.
universe.
I mean, I've already voted for it several times, but I think I might have to give it to Screaming Simmons.
Okay, Earthbound
All right.
it is. Earthbound.
And
Okay.
Christopher Lee.
Next
And
is
Christopher Lee.
Journey to Where versus Guardian of Piri. Mark, that is you.
I voted against Journey to Where every single time, and I'm voting against it now. Guardian of Piri.
Okay, Brian?
I felt like we just voted those two together. No? Journey to Where, Guardian of Piri. I'm still gonna go Journey to Where. Sorry, Catherine.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. We're down to like kind of cool votes now. So wait. Mark, what was your vote?
My vote was Guardian of Piri because
that means I am the deciding factor. I now have to think about it out loud, don't I? Okay, cool.
Yes,
Alien
you
set
do.
versus ridiculous new Texas sets. I
Remember, 90% of that episode was medieval stuff.
that was
Or
also
no,
fun though.
okay,
That was also
60% of
fun.
it.
That was also fun. But I know in the end I'm gonna give it to Peary because we get to play around on the ridiculous set. Where Journey to Where it's basically a matte painting and then like a control room inside, right? So
Yeah.
uh I almost want to be like underdog for season 2 and give it to Journey to Where, but I'm gonna give it to Peary because I do like Peary better.
Finally, my enemy is struck and down.
Mm. Brian, you are first on this. Now, okay, here's Breakaway getting some competition. Breakaway versus Mission of the Darians. Brian, you are first.
I really don't. And I was from the minute we started this, I thought the one I'm probably not going to want to vote against is the pilot.
Are you going to vote against the pilot? You're going to go with the pilot?
I am going to maintain my steadfast support for Breakaway.
I'm going to go with Mission of the Darians because that has like kind of the Logan's Run vibe and big production values. I guess Breakaway does too, but you know,
That's where the budgets went in those episodes.
Right. It's kind of like pilots tend. I feel like a pilot is rarely the best episode of something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going to give it to Darians and make Mark choose.
I briefly a couple of weeks ago rewatched some of Breakaway partly just to show it to some people who'd never heard of the show before. And yeah, man, I have to hand it to Breakaway. Breakaway is an incredible episode. Like it's razor thin, but God, yeah, Breakaway for me.
Okay.
I'll miss you, Darians.
Next
Come
one
on, Joe.
here. Last Sunset versus End of Eternity. That starts with me. This is where I have to part ways with Baylor. I would rather have space shrooms than hang out with Baylor. So it's the Last Sunset for me.
Yeah, me too. Well, one of the few times when I vote against an insane maniac who kills people.
Force of
I'll
Life is
vote for the
gone.
Last Sunset. It's just an insane maniac who punches people.
That's right. We do have a bunch of insanity. Again, the brackets come together in very strange ways. Yeah. All right. I'll go with Paul tripping shrooms.
Last Sunset it is. Okay, this is the last matchup for this round. It is, and it makes sense that this one starts with Mark. It's the Day After Tomorrow versus Death's Other Dominion. It's a blessed battle.
Oh, why do I have to do
Blessed
it?
battle.
Oh no.
I as much as I regret having to say goodbye to either of these, it's so easy for me to say Death's Other Dominion is the better choice. It's got a smoldering skeleton with chunks of meat on it at the end. Classic.
Brian?
Death of the Dominion versus what again?
Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting through that.
It's still in there.
It's got some nice Nick Tate action. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna shy away from the after school special roots and head back towards Existential Dread. That's Other Dominion.
You guys are correct, but I just want to give Day After Tomorrow that dissenting vote because I'm third and I can and I will.
All right.
So we'll give it some love.
Too.
We're gonna get a little. We're gonna miss it, but yes, it is Death's Other Dominion in the end, really. So it's that. I couldn't, or maybe I have to abstain from voting. What are our voting rules? What's in the podcast 1999 Constitution?
The rule is that once you voted, you can't keep talking about how you may or may not should have voted or been allowed to vote, or how there should be rules about you voting. Or
oh, damn, I'm gonna get executed by Baylor now.
Those are the rules of Luton.
Ding ding. Round 4. Okay, it's the last 6 hanging out here. Well, we'll see, and then I guess it's just gonna have to be a 3 about. We'll see. We'll make the rules as we go, just to be annoying. But for our rounds, the first one starts with Brian. It is the Bringers of Wonder versus Death's Other Dominion. How far are you gonna go with Death?
Gruesomeness versus grossness. I'm gonna go with Death again because it's more complex. It's just too much going on with Captain Jack and everything too.
Yeah,
The rubber monsters don't quite match against the raving captain of the Thule probe.
that is a one-shot thing, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Death's Other Dominion. It's just it's a smarter story, a smarter script. Mark,
As I've said, I've already put that over my favorite season 2 episode, so I have to say goodbye to the Bringers of Wonder.
and
Bye
we're saying
bye.
goodbye to season 2. The Bringers of Wonder held out the longest, but here we
Oh.
are. uh Now I'll start with this one. It's Earthbound versus Last Sunset. Yeah, screaming in a box where you're gonna die versus space shrooms and punching people. It's still the we're gonna see how far the space shrooms go, man. I'm choosing The Last Sunset.
Me too. Love Last Sunset more than Earthbound, I'm afraid.
Brian, you got a sympathy vote for Earthbound, or you
Yes, I'll give the sympathy vote to Earthbound since it
okay?
doesn't matter now.
You don't have to. You just be like, yeah, it's Last Sunset. Ball as hell.
Simmons for the win or the loss, apparently. Well, it kind of makes sense that Simmons would lose
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah. Eventually,
Yeah.
he could get to high positions of power, but he's still gonna lose in the end.
I know Fred Freiberger would have just killed him off, but man, I wish he had just stayed around. He would have been great in season 2.
Mark, you're gonna do this last one. It's Guardian of Perry versus Breakaway.
Breakaway.
Yeah. Okay, Brian.
Breakaway.
Yeah, it's Breakaway. It's weird that that one would come so late. That's because I love Guardian of Perry, which I guess is partly why it's there. But yeah, when you put those two next to each other, it's easily Breakaway.
No. Yeah.
Okay, we are down to Death's Other Dominion, Last Sunset, and Breakaway. So let's do it. It's the final round, the final chapter. Friday the 13th, episode 8 is the final chapter. No,
4?
4? I don't even remember anymore.
Which Final Fantasy is it?
7.
All of them.
So we've done sci-fi fun, we've done existential dread, we've done ooh softcore baby. But we are going to take these last 3 and actually give them quality ratings for once, 0 to 10. So we're gonna try and be strict. A 10 has to be perfect. And is any episode of Space 99 really perfect? I don't know, but we'll see. So let's quality rate these guys up. The first one is Death's Other Dominion. Brian, you are first. This is rarefied here.
Death's
So let's call
Other
the rules.
Dominion.
Yeah, let's call rules
Yeah.
of Luton a -20 on this scale, and you can work on it from there.
That's too many points.
So we can
Now I'm
vote negatively if
confused.
we really
But you
wanted
won't. These
to.
are the top 3, so you won't be giving them anything under 0.
I'll give it an 8.5. Or are we doing points?
You can do points if you want. It'll mean I have to do a bit more math, but 8.5, sure. Death's Other Dominion. Let's see. Brambles is smoldering. We are on that in the ice set like a bit too much. Smoldering Corpse is great. I'm gonna go one below you and call it a 7.5. Mark?
Okay, if Rules of Luton can be a -20, then Death's Other Dominion can be a 10. So I'm giving it a 10.
Okay, 10 for Mark.
It's a 10 for me.
Okay, The Last Sunset. I will give that. Let's see. We're hanging out in the dust. We're in blue towels on the moon. That's pretty cool. That's like a B-52's video, which I watch a lot. That's my 8.5. I'm being like purely realistic here. Mark?
Yeah, I'm also gonna vote at 8.5. This is very difficult, by the way. This is much harder than the previous.
It's the final round, isn't it? If I started this way, it would have sucked. Brian, The Last Sunset.
Harder for us.
I'm gonna go down a little bit and say from the last one, say 7.
7 for Last Sunset. Okay. Breakaway. Mark, you are first.
I'm gonna give this a 9.2.
9.2. Why?
Because I would have to slot Mission of the Darians. Wait, no, I already voted it over Mission of the Darians.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite a 9.5.
Okay. Just checking, just curious. Brian, Breakaway.
Well, I gotta give it a 9.13 for September 13th.
Okay,
Oh,
that's gonna make my
nice.
math more difficult. That's fine. I am only gonna give it
Yay.
I'm gonna give this one a 7. This is the one that people love that maybe is not my favorite.
Hmm,
I think
interesting.
I'm about to do the math. It might be the favorite, but it's
Let's
not
find out.
necessarily my favorite. 0.13. Damn it, I have to pause and record.
It's just 18.33 plus your whatever 7.
Okay, you know what I'm glad we didn't record? The 5 minutes of us doing math. The math has been done, the numbers have been tallied. Here are in third place for our final 4. We don't know what the fourth is anymore. It's the final 3. I'll put it out as the final 3. Coming in at the lowest is Last Sunset. It only averaged an 8 score from the 3 of us. Makes me cry a little tear of mushroom pain. Coming in second is Breakaway. I lowballed it a bit. That's probably why. That was a 8.443. And Brian Blessed made it. It looks like our top episode for Space 1999 is Death's Other Dominion at 8.66. I will
6.
say that the last round is kind of not interesting, is it?
I mean, I basically single-handedly ruined. I mean, I single-handedly rigged it by rating something a 10 when nobody else had the nerve to call something a 10. That's not that exciting, I
Hey,
guess.
that's your
Or-
definition of perfection. There you go.
Well, what was I don't
Yeah.
remember if we were on air when I told you to calibrate the rules of Luton as a -20. So
Oh,
that's
I
how
thought
that
you
pushed
were.
that made us all push our scores down a little bit, I
That
think.
just made him
Otherwise,
mad. He had to do it.
I didn't want us all to be like, it's a 10, it's a 10. So Luton was a -20 on a scale
I
of
mean,
0 to 10.
I've gone on record a bunch of times on our other podcasts that I don't think that any movie is a 10. So me rating that a 10 is also very hypocritical, but I still did it anyway.
Yeah,
Because we're just
that's
on the scale of Space 1999, not the scale of all movies.
that's partly why I did Luton as an 0 to 20, because I was like, oh well, Mark won't give it anything a 10, so now he certainly won't. But he
That's
did.
hilarious.
Okay, well that
It
brings us
backfired.
to the end of our doing Space 1999 for now, unless we find a good excuse to do one later. So it's been
Reboot.
a trip. We're going ape soon. For listeners, I guess we're gonna take a few weeks off and then show up and do the original Planet of the Apes movie, followed by the 4 sequels and the TV series. That's our plan. Go
So
ape with us.
that celebrated its 50th anniversary on September 13th,
Yeah.
2024.
Yep. The synchronicities tell us we are following the correct direction, unless we suddenly get a bunch of emails telling us counterpoint you are wrong. But we'll see.
Don't email us and tell us that.
Especially without the context.
Yeah.
As we
Or
said,
any
we do lots of
context.
podcasts. The nexus point for those on Patreon. If you would like to support us as Podcastio Podcastius, you get early episodes of this with extra banter, but not extra math banter. I just hit the pause for that. We also talk about the Twilight Zone on Time Enough Podcast. Really good movies and really bad movies according to IMDb users on Films and Filth. And you got gaming podcasts like Luke Loves Pokemon, The Game Show, and Monster Mash. Okay. Mission complete. Leave main mission. Operation Exodus. I should have said that. Now I did. Late. I said it late.
Operation Rig the Game. So my favorite episode is the
Remember
best
us.
episode.
Remember us.
You're getting older.
I am.
We all are. Those are the rules of Luton.
God, it's like you're competing with yourself to get the last word. Okay, that is where I cut it.
I'm sure you could pick some spot in there. God damn.
I might tighten it up at the end a bit, but I'm leaving all that crap in because that was entertaining. That might be somewhere where I actually do shore it up a bit for once. I'm gonna leave
right.
Brian's thinking time in though. Thinking time has
Okay.
to stay. Right, that's
Yeah,
gotta
you need a
stay.
little syncopated clock or something behind me while I'm doing that.
And I'll be too lazy to edit the parts where I was shuffling through the disc looking for plot descriptions. That's just staying because I'm too lazy to fix that. That's hard to fix.
I can't believe the one said Helena just got destroyed.
The what?
The one summary just said that Helena was destroyed.
Helena was
That's fucking
destroyed.
funny. God. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, and I just doubled down saying her name how I wanted to. Let's
Sure,
see.
why not?
Wednesday, Brian's at the dentist. Mark, what are you up to? You want to do Uncle Simon?
Well, I made plans for Wednesday because I thought we were doing Oakland Simon
That's
next
fine.
week.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, did I say next week? Then next week then. And then
Uh,
Brian, sometime soon we're going to do the old man in the cave because as you noticed, I
um,
putting out the podcast again.
we were gonna do next Tuesday, my next Tuesday for Uncle Simon.
Okay, it's hard to check on my computer Zoom now. Now it's like you must look at the calendar for some
Oh,
reason.
next Wednesday is next Wednesday your name or did that get moved again?
Uh, sorry, I'm looking at this. I need to grab my iPad. Sorry. They've made like looking at Zoom calendars on the laptop like impossible now.
Yeah.
Continue with me. It's thinking. But yeah, things keep breaking, man. Oh, actually, well, no, Wednesday, your Wednesday, Tuesday.
What?
Your name is next Wednesday is your name, but it's early. Theoretically, we could do it after if you felt like it. Although we could wait as well. That's fine. We
Wait,
can
what?
wait.
Do what after?
Your name.
Your name and then Uncle Simon could be after that if you felt because we're starting your name early.
Are you sure Uncle Simon isn't my Tuesday? Because that's what I have on the calendar.
This coming Tuesday?
24th. Yeah. A week after Crossroads. That's where I have it on the calendar. Is that
Oh,
totally wrong?
I have Living Doll on my calendar, which is Luke.
Oh,
So,
shit.
and I actually do need to record that one first. So, I need to do
Mm.
Living Doll first.
Oh.
We have a few weeks. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be that
Yeah.
soon. So, this week I'm not recording a Twilight Zone, but I'm like 5 ahead, or so it's probably fine.
So when is your name at my time?
Next
When?
Wednesday, but at 6 o'clock because it's Jay in Scotland.
Right. Okay. Good thing.
And then
You
Batman and
told me that.
Robin the week after is also 6 o'clock because that is that's Stuart who's in what the
Right.
Western England. I don't know where he lives actually.
Weird accent land.
Weird accent land. Yeah, yeah. Brian, have you listened to any episodes with Stuart?
Episodes of
The Fog.
The Fog.
We
He was
did
on The
with the
Fog.
fog. We did Moonraker with him way back when.
It's still like my favorite. The Fog is still one of my favorite episodes of the podcast, even though
Yeah, well,
I
I've
hate
listened
the
to them
movie.
all. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I remember doing The Fog quite a lot.
Yeah. The foggiest movie ever. If fog is bland, as I guess it is.
You can't see anything because there's just too much fog.